Good evening. The government is tonight ordering an urgent review into how 14 new public housing units sat empty in the depths of a housing crisis.
7 News last night exposed the debacle. Today, potential tenants were shown through the homes, while the minister ordered a please explain from his department. Francesca Danuccio reports.
Yesterday, overgrown and abandoned. Today, the workers arrived. Even potential tenants already being shown through the property. A remarkable turnaround.
As a result of 7 News, I've ordered immediate review of the project. I've also ordered the agency to get tenants into the complex as quickly as possible.
The minister says he had no idea homes were being wasted.
This project started with one builder, it stopped, it had another builder, it had issues in relation to the fire detection system, water pressure to the fire pumps. Those issues have been rectified.
The occupancy permit was received in May, but still they remained empty. Mike Kent among thousands who could have moved in.
It's the biggest slap in the face that you can take. It feels like it makes you want to give up.
The pensioner has been homeless for 2.5 years, living out of his caravan on Rockingham's Memorial Drive. But even that is no longer an option.
It's just got so rough down there. I'm worried about going back there, safety-wise.
The government only found out about this debacle when it saw our story last night. Their response has been swift, but the question is, how many other public housing units like these are sitting empty?
We're in the middle of a housing crisis. Is it a bad look?
Oh, it's unacceptable. It's simply unacceptable.
What would it mean to be able to get the keys to one of these units?
Oh, it'd be a start of a new life for me. It would be.
Francesca Danuccio, 7 News.
There's been a shocking twist following the horror crash between a train and a truck in Guildford. Police have charged the 33-year-old truck driver with a string of offences, including allegedly having drugs in his system.
Driving straight into the path of an oncoming train, a truck rolls through the middle of the rail intersection at Guildford. Moments later, this. A 33-year-old man is accused of being behind the wheel of the truck. Police say Jared David Campbell had illicit drugs in his system, charged with driving dangerously and acting in a way that could harm others. We don't know why the truck drove across, but we do know what happened next, the shocking collision. Debris was sent flying, a trailer, tyres, a bobcat, landing just metres from shocked witnesses.
The wheels have come flying through the air and smashed into our car, and it's been a bit wild actually.
4 people were injured, 2 taken to hospital. It's hard to imagine the horror inside the carriage. Behind the shattered windscreen, a trainee driver and instructor, plus dozens of passengers thrown to the ground at the moment of impact.
The whole glass window smashed and people fell over.
The train was packed with passengers when the crash happened. It was afternoon peak hour on a Wednesday. It's a miracle no one else was injured. The accused driver faced Midland Court today, released on bail. He'll be back before a magistrate in September. Rebecca Petroska, 7 News.
A routine drive to work has turned into a nightmare for a Perth father who was randomly attacked with a baseball bat. He spoke exclusively from his hospital bed today, paying tribute to the stranger who came to his aid.
Lying in Royal Perth's trauma unit, still trying to make sense of what happened 2 days ago. What was going through your mind?
I'm going to die. I'm going to die without no reason.
It was 2 o'clock on Wednesday. Isaac Lara was on his way to work along Belia Drive in Success. He didn't make it, blocked in by a stranger and then set upon.
Now he opened his boot, took a machete first. And I thought, what the hell? And then he put it back. He took a big metal baseball bat. He hit me with that baseball bat on my eye. He dragged me out of the car, held my neck and dragged me on the road.
Isaac felt the tension building at traffic lights.
It was orange I had to slow down. So this guy behind me, he just keep on beeping at me.
Other drivers too frightened to help the 48-year-old, except for one woman.
This lady, which I would say very thank you to her, she put her hand on my head and really saved me by bleeding. I was bleeding like a tap.
Good Samaritan acts like that are very important, not just for actual saving of lives, but general helping out people.
Isaac has a fractured nose, a cut above his eye.
He is very lucky that, based on the scans that we did, he doesn't have any brain injury associated with that.
It's not just the physical scars Isaac will have to heal from. It's the emotional trauma too. The father waking up screaming last night, a nurse rushing to his bedside to calm him down. Police have charged a 46-year-old with assault. He's in court next month. Brianna in Ferreira, 7 News.
It was touted as a once-in-a-generation showdown, but BHP's Port Hedland strike failed to deliver a knockout blow. Fewer than a third of those expected walked off the job, but the union claims it was still a win as more workers prepare to escalate the fight.
Outside, flags in hand, a common goal by their side. But inside, our country's biggest export, the iron ore machine built to never slow down, and yesterday was no different. 200 workers expected to walk off the job. BHP says only 63 did. More than 1,000 staff clocked in, ships loaded, exports on schedule, no delays.
We consider it to be a successful strike action because we had community involvement. We also donated excess food at the end of the night to a women and children's centre.
A win for locals, but not the win workers were chasing.
Without these workers, there's no powerhouse. We anticipate that there will be an impact on the operations.
Operations impacted, but no $1 million bill in the aftermath.
They had to reschedule staff to work an afternoon shift. Did they take a financial hit? Probably not.
Clearly the unions were setting out to cause more disruption than what occurred.
But more disruption could be on the way. Around 50 of BHP's high-voltage workers now switching on, even approving stoppages up to 3 times longer. Whether yesterday was a success depends entirely on who you ask, both BHP and the union claiming it as a victory. What remains to be seen now is whether next week's bargaining looks any different because of it. A historic strike, but not one for the history books. Industrial action will need to dig a little deeper to strike gold. Sam Haberland, 7 News.
We can reveal there's growing unrest at Perth Glory tonight, with players furious over unpaid wages and superannuation. Brandon Demura has been looking into this. Brandon, what's happened?
Rick, the Professional Footballers Association has claimed that for the 3rd time this year, players have not received their wages and are owed months in superannuation. In a scathing statement, Association CEO Bo Bush said it was an unacceptable situation and has now become a pattern at the club, with players unsure each payday if the money would hit their bank accounts. Late this afternoon, the association told us money had started being deposited into bank accounts, but the super was still missing. Sue, the club told us today that the late payment was, quote, a timing issue, and the Glory remains in a strong financial position.
Brandon, thank you. Telstra has confessed the problem, which led to last week's nationwide network meltdown, could have easily been prevented.
The telco's bosses fielded a barrage of questions in a Senate inquiry today, admitting it went unresolved for years.
Telstra bosses answer to Parliament over the outage that put the nation on hold.
Millions of people have gone without mobile coverage and mass chaos across the country.
The chief executive apologising again.
We fell short of what people rightly expect from us.
Revealing this giant exchange in Melbourne was where the trouble started. Maintenance on a timing server was completed, but when it came back online, a GPS card didn't operate as expected.
The server restarted with the wrong date.
The error spread like a bushfire across Telstra's network early last Wednesday, affecting 45% of calls and data services at its peak, blocking businesses from trading.
How many people do you reckon you had to turn away? I think around 100.
604 000 calls unable to connect, the travel of thousands upended.
I was not impressed.
People who were spending a lot of money staying overnight, hotels.
Stuck here because of this.
Stuck here, late getting home.
Telstra was forced to admit some home truths. This could have all been prevented if it didn't ignore software update warnings from January this year, 2022, and as far back as 2020.
How does it go 6 years without fixing?
The server's hardware was 15 years old and cheap to replace.
How much are these servers worth? Jared, one of these servers?
It's about $30,000.
About $30,000.
Departing Canberra with a bumpy road ahead. Telstra says it's paid out more than $100,000 in compensation. 8,000 customers have so far made claims. The telco expects that bill to rise. Chief Financial Officer Michael Ackland says it's still early days with large claims yet to be processed. Affected customers can still also apply on Telstra's website. The communications watchdog has told the inquiry it isn't ruling out multi-million-dollar fines. Rick?
Thanks, Josh. A whale that died in Sydney today will be tested for bird flu. Marine mammals are also at risk of getting the deadly virus, which has already killed 13,000 seal pups on Antarctic islands. Today, another 2 cases were confirmed here in WA, with birds at Seabird and Denmark testing positive.
An Australian soldier has been killed by Russian forces while fighting for Ukraine.
His parents have made a dangerous dash to the war zone to bury their son.
In a place they call the House of Sorrows, another wartime funeral, not for their own, but an Australian, Samuel Michael Pedrozzini, just 26, from Lismore. His parents, Leonie and Tim, braving the high-risk journey deep into a war zone to be there for their only son. Pedrozzini was a soldier with the Australian Army deployed to England to train Ukrainian soldiers, but decided to join them instead. He wanted to fight for Ukraine, his commander told local media, to defend its freedom and independence. His broken-hearted mother presented with the flags of Ukraine and Australia that had covered his coffin. He was simply outstanding, good machine gunner, marksman, medic. Promoted to Special Forces in May, killed just 1 month later in frontline Donetsk. Samuel Pedrozzini's death takes the number of Australians killed fighting in Ukraine to at least 13. His family approving his burial there, telling local officials it's what he would have wanted. Telling a friend, this is my country now. Laid to rest alongside local fallen soldiers, the cemetery hailed as the Heroes' Alley. Chris Reason, 7 News.
US President Donald Trump has tried to make a live address to the American people, but the country's biggest TV networks have refused to broadcast it.
In it, he blamed a Chinese conspiracy for rigging his 2020 election loss without a scrap of reliable evidence.
A major primetime address being sold as big news for the American people.
I'm announcing the immediate declassification and release of critical intelligence.
Written off by many political experts as a big bunch of baseless claims. The intelligence released, a trove of largely redacted papers published by the White House. Donald Trump claims they show a data breach in the country's voting system by China.
To hacking, exploitation and foreign interference. Just as disturbingly, this vital information has for many years been covered up and hidden from you, the American people, our beautiful, our great American people.
They date back to 2020 when Trump was beaten by Joe Biden, still claiming the win was stolen from him with no evidence to back that up. After a long history of peddling false election claims, major news networks here weren't taking the chance of allowing the president to spread more misinformation, making the unprecedented decision not to broadcast his address.
I heard nothing new. I heard no concrete evidence or even allegations that foreign actors actually change the results of American elections.
I asked my Republican colleagues, why are you complaining about election fraud? We won all the damn elections.
But more elections are on the way, congressional polls where Democrats may make gains, amid chilling images like this. A massive billboard installed in Tehran, Donald Trump lying in a coffin, and this vision of a sixth night of US airstrikes on Iran, a war that is only intensifying by the hour. In the United States, Hannah Ford, 7 News.
Pauline Hanson appears to have rued the end of the White Australia policy, saying it sparked the country's ongoing problems with immigration. She made the comments in an interview with a far-right British activist.
One-on-one with the face of One Nation.
I have the great pleasure of meeting a lady I've looked up to for years.
Pauline Hanson meets Tommy Robinson in Britain to unload on Australian immigration.
They opened up and got rid of the White Australia policy, then they started bringing in the different migrants.
Claiming many of those are today rorting the NDIS.
A lot of them are ripping the system off, who are a lot from the Muslim areas.
It's baseless. If she's got some data that I, as the Minister for Disabilities and the Minister for the NDIS, have never seen, I'd like to see it.
Many waiting to see this interview. Robinson already stirring controversy in Australia.
I just sat down with a gentleman last week. What's his name? Cole.
Oh, yeah.
Done an interview. He lost his job by the time he walked out the door.
Hanson is copping backlash here for this latest interview. Robinson, whose real name is Stephen Yaxley Lennon, is a convicted criminal, including for assault, fraud and contempt of court.
Pauline Hanson needs to explain why she's associating herself with this criminal racist thug.
7 News Spotlight's Liam Bartlett has been following the pair in the UK.
Do you think being associated with a person like you is a disadvantage for her electoral success or otherwise?
Only to people who listen to the fake stream media.
As on social media, more snaps of her Sicilian escape with billionaire Gina Rinehart emerge, rubbing shoulders with celebrities at a Dolce & Gabbana fashion show, hoping her brand of politics stays in vogue. Jasmine Turlings, 7 News.